everyone, welcome to Hedgehog Hollow. So today we're excited because we are hopping with Altenew for a new release, and so I want to show you a couple of top tips to really stretch your supplies even further. So these are the cards I made with their new release, which I'll show you in a second, but I'm going to show you how to make these balloons look translucent. We're going to talk about how to do turn any sentiment really into a background stamp or into a border like this. And then I'm going to show you how I created these glossy elements. And this is also an item that you wouldn't necessarily think there was just a individual word die. So I'm going to show you how to do that as well. So here are a few items from their new release that I picked. So this is geometric elements, which I love. If you've ever seen our subscription box, you'll know I always try and do some geometric stamps because I absolutely love them. So this is one of them, and that's how I made this card here. So I stamped with their antique gold pigment ink. Now pigment ink does not dry instantly, you have to heat dry it in some way, and it stays sticky long enough for you to use the crystal clear embossing powder on it. And then I heat embossed it. So these geometric elements are all 3D, and exactly the same with doing this U. So this is a new stamp set called Mega Label Love. I stamped it out with their obsidian pigment ink. There'll be links to everything in the description below, and a link to a blog post where you can go and enter for giveaway prizes. I stamped it out using this pigment ink and then quickly added that crystal clear embossing powder to it and made this really lovely glossy finish. And the thank you comes from this new circled greetings thanks die. So this is how the die looks. And I cut out, once you cut it out, you have a really thin circle around here. And I cut out the thanks. And I just trimmed the thank off each side, and you can see it works perfectly. So it's another way to stretch your supplies. You can have a really nice thanks in the middle of your card, or you can do something like a thank you or a thanks on your card. So I really liked that. Then they have this new floral in and out border die. So this is what it looks like, and this is how it cuts. So I wasn't too sure from the picture how it cuts, so I cut a test one to show you. You can see there. So it cuts, if I put my hand behind, you can see better. So it cuts this half, and that's how I made this piece on here. So I folded up a regular card base. Here, I'll show you what I mean. So I took a card base like this, fold it in half. Then I took my die and I lined it up so that the edge of my die here was on the edge of my card. And then I put a full piece of black underneath so that it shined through. And it looks really nice on there. And the way I lined it up, I'll show you a tip here. So I used my Tim Holtz glass mat. You could use the Altenew stamping mat. Anything that has dimensions on it. And then I took, so here I'm going to put it at around about 1.5 inches up from the bottom, 1.5 inches from the bottom, taped it down, opened this out like so, ran that through my die cutting machine, and then I had that really nice straight placement on there. And I'm going to show you in a minute how we created this side on here. So again, just really simple. The die does it all for you. Then they're also releasing this checkerboard. It kind of reminds me of like Pixels or Minecraft, those kinds of things. Really fun sentiments on the bottom too. And then we have Courageous You, which would be absolutely beautiful to color or watercolor, use colored pencils, alcohol markers, tons and tons of different options, or do it on black with the Altenew metallic watercolors. I think that would look gorgeous as well. And you could use just one element and mask it off. You could use both down the edge of a card. You could use it on a scrapbook page. I think it's a really versatile flower. So that is the race. There is also, the balloon bunch stamp set, which is this card that I made here. And again, I used those sentiments that I used before, these ones, the Mega Labels, Mega Label Love. Same thing, I put clear embossing powder over it. You can see it just glistens on there. And I'm going to show you how I made these balloons look translucent. There's a couple of different ways you can do that. So let's start off with how to do this border piece here. So you're going to need a stamp platform of some kind. I have my mini Misty here. And the first thing I did was grab the stamp set, which was, let me find it. I think it was in this one. Love, let's do what we love and do a lot of it. So that's this one here. And you could use any sentiments for this. You could use a single line, multi-line, you know, whatever you wanted to do. So first of all, I picked where I wanted my sentiment to go. Made sure my cardstock was in a corner. It could be the top corner, but as long as it's in a corner, or you could use something like the Misty corners too. And I first of all stamped it out with my black. So I'll do that one first. So wherever you want your black piece to be, whether it's at the top, the middle, wherever you want that to be, that's what you want to do first. Then you want to clean off your stamp, and I'm just going to use some water. Remember, that's pigment ink, so it's not going to dry instantly. You're going to need to heat dry it at the end, leave it to dry overnight, or add some clear embossing powder to it. So you can pick which one works for your project. Now I'm going to leave this in exactly the same space because I don't want to have to keep moving it around. And then I'm going to take my amethyst and ink up my stamp. And then I'm going to move my cardstock. So all I did was I worked out, I believe this one was about 1.5 inches. So we're going to move our cardstock up. The great thing about a MISTI is, of course, we can half close the lid and find the exact placement. And then again, you want to make sure your cardstock's right up against the edge of this ruler so it stays straight. And there's that one. And now we're going to move it up again. So we'll do the same thing. Make sure it's up against my ruler. And it goes a little bit off the bottom. And then I do the same going the opposite way. So we go back to here. We know we need to move it down roughly that much. And then, again, ink it up. Make sure it's up against my ruler. And stamp down. So you can see that's how I did that, and then I just cut that off, framed it with a piece of black to add some extra dimension, and that was a really quick and easy card. So you can try that one at home as well. And now I want to show you how I created my balloon bunch card, because it was really easy, and I found a couple of different ways you could make those balloons look really translucent. So we're going to again take a piece of white cardstock. I'm using my Altenew dye inks on here as well, and what we're going to do is you'll need a spray bottle of water. So let's open these up, and I'm going to show you the two different ways, one on each end. So we're going to use the solid round one here, and we'll do a heart on this end. So let's pick these up with our stamp platform. Now I'm going to use some Citrus Burst and Warm Sunshine, and I'm going to do some Pinkalicious with Pink Diamond. So we're going to ink up our light colour first on our solid, like this. And I'm just going to put my hand here to protect, and I'm going to just spritz it with water because I don't want this one spritzed, because I want to show you the two versions. So this one is just stamped plain, this one is stamped with water. The one that's stamped with water is just going to be a little bit more kind of fuzzy, translucent, but you can also get the same effect doing it this way too. And I'm going to show you both ways. So let's put these on here. We're going to pick up our second ones. And again, great thing about stamp platform is we can line it all up ahead of time. Pick them up, and we're going to use some Warm Sunshine down here and some Pinkalicious up here. Again, I'm going to spritz this one, leave this one dry. And so you can see already this one just looks a little bit more kind of blended and translucent. But if you don't want to do it that way around, you can spritz it after, which is what I did with these ones on here. And I left it for like 5 minutes, then I heat dried it, and you can see it kind of just blends everything together. So you can do it either way. They're going to get a slightly different effect depending on which order you do it in, but it's just another way to stretch those stamps, make them kind of look like they're truly layered balloons that you see one through the other. So stamp all of your solids, then stamp all of your extras. So I stamped all those solids first because then it layered the colors together as though one balloon was behind the other. So top tips in there of heat embossing those pigment inks to create some really nice faux enamel accents, how to stretch your sentiments into border dyes. Don't forget to check out that blog hop below. There'll be sales in there. There's all the new releases. There's lots of inspiration and of course some fun giveaways. So do come back and join me soon for some more tips, tricks, tutorials, or maybe something a little bit different. And I'll see you again soon here at Hedgehog Hollow. Make sure you've hit that subscribe button, thumbs up, and ring the bell so you get notifications of our future videos. I'll see you soon. Bye.